Hey, this is Lisa again, just coming to bring you another update. I had my surgery December 7th, and it was going to be up to an 8-hour surgery. It ended up being 10 hours. I was supposed to be in recovery for an hour. I was ended up being in recovery for 3 hours. When I was coming up out of anesthesia, I hadn't quite opened my eyes yet, but I could hear them telling me, Lisa, you need to wake up. You need to wake up. And they were telling me to move my feet. So I was trying to move my right foot. That one was fine. I started trying to move my left. Well, this horrible pain shot down my leg, my knee, the top of my foot. It was hurting so bad I just started bawling. Well, they were talking and all I could hear them was like, give her pain medicine. And then I was knocked back out. Well, then I finally came, they finally got me back out of woke me back up, however you want to say it. And then, I ended up going to my room. But here, if you're all curious as to what it looks like, I mean, it's healed up pretty good. They cut me from clear over here all the way down to here. And then where I had the drain, you can see the little mark. It's healing up pretty nice. But they said to, stay out of the sun for like up to a year. If I go outside, I have to put a scarf or something on, cover it up. And let's see. What else? They took the drain out before I left the hospital, so I didn't have to go home with that. I stayed in the hospital one night, and my throat hurt really bad, like just for 3 days, and it's still hurting now, but I don't know what that's for. I don't know if it's the same thing, but for some reason it's poofy right here, and it wasn't like swollen right here before. And so I messaged the surgeon yesterday, and they got back to me and asked if I was still massaging it, and I'm like, yeah, I tried to massage it, how you told me to, a couple times a day, because this over here was more swollen than what it was. And so they was like, massage, because the fluid builds up, because, they took stuff out, so your body fills it up with fluid. Well, so massaging it kind of helps it, the swelling and stuff go down. But it's still poofy right here. And yesterday, my chest was really, really red. Oh, it's a little red right now. I don't know why it's doing that neither. This arm is still, it's not fully functional at all, and sometimes it's like hurts so bad it only feels good to like hold it up against me. But I do not try to baby it at all. I did tell the surgeon that yesterday when I messaged. I'm like, I've been taking liquid Tylenol, in the morning, ibuprofen in the, later on in the afternoon. The Tylenol doesn't seem to help the pain, but the ibuprofen, since it, takes away the inflammation, I think that's what helps the most. But it just, the Tylenol kind of takes off the edge of the pain. But now I just feel like I'm going to start rambling. Same. I've basically been sitting at the house on the sofa, sleeping on the sofa, and I could have went upstairs and went to bed, because obviously this doesn't affect you walking. So, but it was just easier for me just to stay on the sofa. My cousin stayed here for the day after, like, the day I stayed in the hospital, okay? And then the next day, he was here. And he just stayed with me all through that first week, and then 2 weeks of, I was off from work for, winter break for Christmas and New Year's. So, yeah. And then he went back home after I went back to work. And I'm sitting here by myself. And And I'm going to do a whole nother video on like the feelings and everything that I've experienced during this, because that's a whole nother big mess. I was just trying to do this video to let you, give an update on how this is going. And I was doing coconut oil on it. And then I ran into my cousin, and he said, why don't you get that Aquaphor? So I've been using that on it, and it's to, keep it moist, so as it heals, it doesn't leave that much of a scar. So I'm hoping it actually works. I've liked it so far, and I've been doing it for a couple days. And it's not like I have to keep applying it, because it actually stays on as long as, like, if you wear a shirt like this, it kind of, gets, the lotion gets soaked up by the shirt. But if you wear any other shirts that isn't touching it, it pretty much stays on, like, the whole day. It's kind of great, really. But as far as I know, they got all the cancer. They took out my whole thyroid. They took out my parathyroids and cleaned them off and put them back in. So until they get to working, I have to take calcium pills. And let's see, my voice has come back a lot since that first day. Oh my gosh, I could barely even talk. And people can still barely hear me now. And if I get too excited and, talk loud or get angry or something and try to talk loud, my voice will go out. It's crazy. Let's see. That's just because when they removed the thyroid, they had to, move the nerve to my vocal cord over, to do that. And so, yeah. Let's see. What else? They took out a bunch of lymph nodes. I got the pathology report back. Most of them were cancerous. Some of them were just benign. They even got the one down in my chest behind my heart. I was surprised to hear about that, because I thought that's why I had to do the radioactive iodine, was for the one behind my heart that was in my chest. But they got it. So I go February 2nd to my next appointment, which is going to be to talk about the radioactive iodine and what's going to be the next step. Because the radioactive iodine, I really didn't want to do it. But it just, since I think I'm going to have to, it's just to make sure, I can't even get it out, to make sure the cancer didn't go into my blood vessels and spread anywhere else, to make sure they got it all. They didn't leave any extra pieces or whatever. So, I don't know. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know. I was supposed to go to a couple sessions of physical therapy for my arm. And what hurts the most is the top of the shoulder when I use it too much. And my chest. Sometimes I'll be rubbing my chest because it hurts. I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's not been god-awful bad, really. Let's just pray and hope they got it all out and we can go on with this. Oh, and when they did the CAT scan, since I woke up and my leg was hurting so bad. I know I'm jumping around. I'm just trying to remember everything. But, they had me do a CAT scan on my leg just to make sure it wasn't a blood clot. Just to, be careful. Be sure. Well, they found another spot in my groin, and I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I'm thinking, I asked her, I'm like, well, does it have anything to do with my fallopian tube, because maybe it's cyst, and she said, no, it's below that. So I gotta, on February 2nd, when I go talk to the doctor about the radioactive iodine, right before that I have another CAT scan to see what that is. Hopefully, she said it could possibly just be a hernia, so I hope and pray that's all it is. Alright, I am gonna cut this video off, I guess. I've rambled on enough. Thanks for listening if you made it this far. Bye. Later, because I don't like the word bye. I forgot. Later.